Primary Source is really about two things: deepening teachers' understanding of the world and helping them make that real for kids. Teachers study with us. For those who want to go further, they travel with us. They write lesson plans and bring it back into the classroom, and ultimately they change the way students learn.
And think about that question that I framed is, why do you think it's important to study about China? Why is it important for students your age to learn about China? That's our goal. By the end of this unit, you will have an answer, each and every one of you, okay?
Since 1989, Primary Source has been offering teachers programs on all different areas of the world. We have programs on the United States, Africa, the Middle East, East and Southeast Asia, Latin America. But I think our deepest area of expertise has really been China. It's one of these areas of the world that teachers know very little about, and they're very eager to learn more because they recognize just how important the relationship between the United States and China is for today and for our future.
It's a huge source for teachers, class-wise, material-wise. I mean, I borrowed both video materials from there, text materials from there. And then your focus is the URL down the bottom of this sheet of paper.
I've done a lot of different things with Primary Source, coming in for seminars and being able to interact with experts in the field, with teachers who've taught it, to see different methods. And that is something that I can bring back, but I think most of all is the trip that I took with Primary Source this year, where I got to visit China in a really different way. We're seeing rural China and we're seeing urban China. We're going into the schools and we're seeing those pictures and bits and pieces that we wouldn't normally pick up as a tourist. Because of the varied locations that we went to, I think I was able to bring back that understanding of that diversity within China to my classroom. And I was able to bring back lots of different pictures that made the kids think and wonder. It's like, oh, I had a certain impression about China, but now it's a little bit different.
By starting with the teacher, not only are we ensuring that students have a deeper, more nuanced understanding of the world, but imagine that every one of those teachers works with about 100 kids a year, and then think about a teacher's career over 30 years. You're impacting hundreds, if not thousands, of students as a result of that investment in one teacher.
I remember while we were there, we walked down into this tomb and we saw these cave paintings, and they were detailed bricks that showed images of daily life back in early ancient China. Today we're going to be looking at some primary sources, or some pictures that were drawn on some caves in the very beginning of China's history. It's going to be your job to look at these pictures just like historians have done and make your own educated guesses about what happened in the past. Raise your hand and tell me, what's a prediction that you might make about life in ancient China based on what you see? Yamelka. But this is what historians have to do, right? When historians sit down to write down history, they have to think, what is the best educated guess that they could make? I have a deeper understanding now, so I can bring that back to my students and show them the same images and sort of bring them through the thought process that I myself went through, and really try to give them an experiential learning environment in the way that I had while I was in China.
For many students, their understanding of China resides in what they see on television or in the movies. When they start to learn from their teachers and directly from their teachers' experiences in China or through courses with Primary Source, they start to have more of a human connection with China.
China is very different than I used to think it was.
I used to think China was super, super oppressive and you couldn't even leave. Like, you didn't have much freedom there, but now that Miss Lee showed me all about it, showed me everything, China's actually a pretty sweet place and I'd like to visit there.
Last time I thought China didn't have any fast food restaurants, but like in Boston, but they do have Burger King and McDonald's.
I definitely think, I used to think that China was more formal, like everything was really traditional, and now I've learned more stuff, and I mean, they're basically just like us. They're living human beings, they have almost the same lifestyle as us. They get up, eat, go to bed.
The world that we lived in is just changing so much. It's a globalized world, and so students have to understand that they need to be sensitive to other cultures and sensitive to how other people do things. And that's important as a goal for me as an educator and as a history teacher.
When you take the time to assume the perspective of a different person and see the world through their eyes, I think you come to a newer realization of your own perspective on the world. You start to see your own context differently, your own history differently. And that deeper understanding of self and others, I think, is what takes us to a more human connection with the rest of the world.
It's cool to compare what we do in America and then what they do in China.
I mean, so many people haven't been out of the United States, and so they only think from one point of view.
It's just good to look at other countries because there's so much stuff you can learn from different cultures.
A lot of people are just so focused on what they're doing in their country that they should definitely turn their focus more towards the world.
It kind of shows that ours isn't the only thing that's possible to live by, that there's many other ways that you could do things.
As an educator, we're trying to educate kids for the future. And what teachers see and what most people see in our future is a lot of collaboration outside of just people in our own country.
We know that today's students are tomorrow's leaders, and the single most important thing that we can do as educators is to prepare them for that, make them aware of other cultures, have a deeper sensitivity to others, be able to think from a different perspective, and give them the knowledge that they need to inform their decisions moving into the future.